people, how are you all doing? This is Divya from Ebizfiling India Private Limited, and today I am here back with yet another informative video for all of you. So before we move ahead, let me ask you that have you subscribed to our channel? If no, then trust me, you are missing a lot of informative videos. So what are you waiting for? Please like, share, subscribe to our channel as we will be coming up with a lot of informative videos. So today we are going to talk about a very informative topic, and that is GST returns for e-commerce operators and sellers. So let's get started. Now first of all, we are going to talk about GST returns. So what is GST return? GST return is a document that contains the details of the income of a taxpayer which the taxpayer needs to file to the tax administrative authorities. And tax administrative authority use this detail to calculate the tax liability of a taxpayer. So you all know that we are required to file GST returns irrespective of any transaction or not. Because if we will not file GST returns for nil transactions also, it will encourage or it will attract, we can say, that penalties or interest and also disallowance of input tax credit. So it is required to file GST returns for all types of business operators along with e-commerce operators and sellers. Now moving ahead, we will talk about e-commerce operators. So e-commerce is the purchase and sale of goods or services via any electronic channel such as internet. And the most popular example for the same is obviously online shopping, where we do purchasing and selling of goods or services via internet. And e-commerce also entails some other type of activities such as we can say that internet banking, online ticketing, payment gateways, etc. And in this article we are going to talk about GST filing as e-commerce operators and sellers. Now let's straight away talk about GST returns for e-commerce operators and sellers. So the persons, or we can say the buyers and sellers who want to register themselves on e-commerce platform are going to register themselves first under GST. So unlike other businessmen, there is no threshold exemption for e-commerce operators and sellers. And e-commerce operators and sellers are required to file certain returns under GST. So now these e-commerce operators and sellers, or we can say that e-commerce entities, come under GST compliance irrespective of the value of supply. So they are required to file GST returns online. And GST returns forms include the details of purchase, sales, or output GST or input tax credit which are required to be submitted on monthly, annually or quarterly basis. And now moving ahead, we will talk about GST returns form filing for e-commerce operators and sellers. So the e-commerce operators and sellers are required to file GSTR 1, GSTR 2, GSTR 3 on monthly basis and GSTR 9 on annual basis. E-commerce operators and sellers are required to file their GST filing in GSTR 8 on monthly basis. Now firstly we will talk about the form GSTR 1. So every business operator who are registered under goods and service tax are required to file GSTR 1, which is monthly return which is filed for sales and outward supplies, and the due date for the same for e-commerce operators and sellers is 10th of the following month. Now secondly we will talk about GSTR 2. So GSTR 2 is a monthly return for inward supply of goods and services or both received during a particular tax period. So for filing of GSTR 2, make them eligible to avail input tax credit, wherein the taxpayer can claim for the refund of tax on purchases and deduct that much amount from the tax payable on outward supplies. And the due date for the same is 15th of subsequent month. Now next we will talk about GSTR 3. So GSTR 3 is an auto-populated process through GSTR 1 and GSTR 2 of the registered person. And GSTR 3 is the consolidated monthly return which contains the detail of tax liability along with the tax paid on inward supplies and tax collected on outward supplies of the e-commerce operator. And the due date for the same is 20th of the next month. Next we will talk about GSTR 8, and GSTR 8 is one of the most important form which is required to be taken care by the e-commerce operator. It is required to be filed on a monthly basis and it contains the details of the supplies made to the customers through the portal of e-commerce operator by both registered person and non-registered person, and also the details of the customers tax paid, tax payable and tax collected at source counted by 1%, and the due date for the same is 10th of the subsequent month. And lastly, we are going to talk about the form GSTR 9. So, all the business operators and sellers along with e-commerce operators and sellers are required to file their annual return in a particular form which is called as GSTR 9. So, GSTR 9 contain all the details of all the supplies made and received during the particular year under different tax heads, that is SGST, CGST and IGST, and it consolidates the information furnished in all monthly and quarterly returns during the particular year, and the due date for the same is 31st December of the preceding year. And that's all for today. So guys, see you soon in another informative video. Till then, take care, be compliant and be safe.